that you're listening to KAFN 88.1, and it is a somewhat beautiful but cloudy day here in the Grand Valley, and you're listening to Vibrant Wellness. Joseph, who's next on our list today?
Our next guest is Spirit McGray. Spirit recently moved here from San Diego, is that correct?
Yes, back in April.
And you're starting a movement called VibeTribe. Vibe, V-I-B-E, VibeTribe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, first let me say thank you for allowing me on here to spread this wonderful, wonderful movement. But upon getting here, I mean, I've been meditating for over 15 years now, and so I'm a teacher. And about 2 months ago, after a wonderful meditation, I was gifted with this movement of VibeTribe.
When you say gifted, what do you mean?
When you meditate, you clear your conscious, you clear your mind in a way that you can connect to all the silence in the world, which breeds clarity, which breeds your ability to allow for deeper, more thoughtful answers. That being the case, I felt the need to create a movement to bring greater harmony to Grand Junction. Not to say that there is not a lot here, because there is, but we're also struggling with teen suicide and depression and addiction and child neglect and things like that. So that being the case, my heart was focused on harmony. And in the difference between happiness is our individual footprint, what we want to do on our day-to-day. Harmony is us and how we respond and how we connect to the collective, meaning our community. So that being the case, I wanted to connect our collective community in a way where it's faceless, there's no ego, and it's about an energy.
Okay, so that's a pretty big thing to say, no ego. Tell me what you mean by that.
No ego means once you place a face on something, ego starts to present itself. Once you place an agenda on something, then ego starts to present itself.
I'd like to kick in to say that I've seen that before in different programs. Being a physician, I participate in a lot of continuing medical education, and there are physicians that will come up with these amazing practices to kind of revolutionize practice, especially in manipulative or manual medicine, which is something that I do. And yeah, absolutely, I have observed that. A person will come up with this technique, they'll start giving classes, they'll attract attention, and people will start really enjoying the work, and then all of a sudden, you can't talk to them anymore.
Exactly.
You're stopped deriving joy from the program. It starts being, so much more about, well, were you with it from the beginning? How long have you been coming? How many times have you stayed at this, tiny little place in New Hampshire? As it is about, the movement, about the ideas, and about healing.
Exactly.
So no, I just wanted to kick in and say that I completely hear what you're saying and wanted to give our readers, our listeners, a little more concrete example.
So no, you're exactly right, and that's the difference between the happiness that I was speaking about and harmony. Harmony, and that's why with VibeTribe, it is an energy. It's like the peace symbol. No one owns that. So no one owns VibeTribe. So anyone could be sitting here speaking to you. As long as they have harmony in their forefront, as long as they want to bring the collective together for greater harmony. If there's any agenda, that's it, and anyone can do that. So when I say a faceless movement, I may be here speaking, but anyone can be sitting in a seat, anyone can start an event, anyone can bring awareness, because VibeTribe, vibe meaning vibration, or the emotional status of where you're at in your life currently. And then tribe meaning community and family and solidarity or togetherness. So VibeTribe, that's an energy. There's no thing about it.
It sounds like the primary focus is the focus on the frequency of harmony. Is that correct?
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly, and that's the difference between, like I said, the happiness and the harmony. VibeTribe focus on the collective harmony. So on October 14th at 9:30, we're going to meet all the members of VibeTribe, and hopefully anyone listening that can spread the message. We're hosting a 20-minute sitting meditation on the corner of 4th and Main, downtown Grand Junction. And the reason for that is, and there's been numerous studies published over the last several decades stating and showing proof that public meditation changes the emotional, the vibratory landscape of any city or town or wherever you live. So if we can get together as a collective and focus on simple harmony, that in itself would change the crime rate, the depression rate, the awareness of personal self-care. It'll increase your ability to start being more curious. So when you see, and we're also, there are also VibeTribe t-shirts. So when you see this VibeTribe symbol, it's just like the peace symbol. It's a desire to do better personally. It's a desire to accept better from others. It's a desire to tell a story of yourself and others in a way that your higher consciousness or your higher awareness of what truly matters becomes the forefront. So you start to think a little bit more in depth about your contribution to not only your community but to yourself. And if anybody wanted to participate, you know, come out October 14th, 9:30. We're going to meditate from 10 a.m. to 10:20. Currently, right now, there's going to be some news coverage and radio and also newspaper coverage. So, you know, and I just got connected with some heat. So as we sit, there'll be heaters out there. So anybody wanted to participate in second guessing it about the cold, you're taken care of.
Right, thank you. And you also mentioned you do the gong. What is the gong? Tell us about that.
The gong is an ancient instrument that's been used from everything from rituals to ceremonies to healing. My gift with the gong is healing. So right now I'm over at Yoga West every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and every Friday at 7. And my offering for the gong is to heal, because every single one of us vibrate or emit a certain frequency. Some of those frequencies either serve us or some of them don't. And what the gong does, just explaining it simply, the vibration of the gong goes all the way down to your atoms, your cells, your glands, everything about you. And if you can picture your cells or your atoms like a frozen ice cube, what the gong does is touches that ice cube, melts it, and allow your body to function in a more optimal way, because now you're more fluid and you don't have blocks of energy that's stuck, creating headaches, creating tension, creating stress. I deal with a lot of patients with sciatica. I deal with a lot of patients with autism and different stresses, whether they're brought on intentionally or unintentionally, whether they're genetic. The gong has a way to reset and realign your energetic body, so your physical body will be in alignment in a way where it can produce the best result, the best moment, and the best experience you want.
Beautiful. I find it fascinating. Everything in the universe is frequency.
It is,
frequency
right?
is energy. Every cell, every tissue, every organ in our body has a frequency that's universal. So when my heart is healthy, it has the same frequency as your heart. So we can actually intentionally use our intention and use modalities to affect the frequency. Just by changing our thought to one of harmony, changes the frequencies in our body.
You're exactly right. And for those that may be unaware, when we're first born, the first organ is the heart. And we can measure electricity in the heart through various scientific equipment. Well, if we can measure electricity in the heart, that means that's an energy. That means that everything we're saying is backed up by science. So when the gong vibrates and it resets your energy, if we reset your heart to pump nothing but harmony through your body, guess what's going to happen? Your physical body is going to follow suit.
Mm-hmm. And also, I've come across studies where people have gotten together in cities and meditated, and actually there were statistical changes in the number of violent crimes,
yes,
theft.
Yes.
And this has been done in multiple cities over decades,
mm-hmm.
and the research findings have been consistent. So
I'm going to have to look this up. This is just exciting. But I will say, this is Dr. April Goggins, that I came across a study not long ago about changing the culture in prisons. The idea of prisons being aggressive places where people are all in for themselves, and that a prison, I want to say in Kentucky, initiated an 11-day experiment where they played the so-called compassion game. And the idea was that you gained points, quote unquote, for doing things like helping your roommate with their issues, helping them keep their room clean, doing favors for them, you know, they would get points for this. And in 11 days, this prison changed from this aggressive, violent place to where for 11 days there was no violence, there was no aggression, there was, you know, model behaviors. To the point now where they're considering implementing this in every prison in the United States, or at least they're you know, all progressive thinking ones. And just the idea that something so simple could change something so, what we would consider so deep-rooted. You know, the idea that this would change our city, I don't think is that far off.
Not at all.
Especially since we're in such desperate need of community. We're in such desperate need of coming together. I think of Grand Junction is a wonderful place, one of my favorite places on this earth, but a place that's in desperate need of a coming together, of a creation of actual community and unity. So I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful that that's your mission.
Well, I am absolutely grateful that it is happening. And just to touch on what you just said really quick, prior to moving here, I was offering meditation in the police departments and the school systems, and the change was almost automatic. And if you do want just to check out the study, one of the bigger ones, one of the most well-known ones, was one done about 10 years ago in Washington, D.C. with a bunch of monks. Crime rate went down consistent with what their findings they knew were going to be. So like here in Grand Junction, I've been approved through District 51 by the superintendent to teach the teachers and staff, teaching at you know, the staff members of our community hospital, and you know, various yoga studios and pain management specialists here in Grand Junction. So if anyone wants to come out and meditate, please find us on Facebook under VibeTribe, VibeTribe, and join us, and let's make this movement something incredible and wonderful for Grand Junction, because we do have our children, our families here. So,
Spirit, thank you so much for joining us today. Martha, thank you for coming and joining us. You've been listening to Vibrant Wellness, offering you a menu for healthy living. Our next show in October, the 4th Wednesday at noon. We'll talk to you then.